Real Madrid won, Al-Hilal won, and both of these managers, it was their first game for their respective clubs. For Al-Hilal and Simone Inzaghi, it was Inzaghi's first game for Al-Hilal, and for Xabi Alonso, it was also his first game with Real Madrid. But the way Al-Hilal played tonight, we definitely saw the idea of Simone Inzaghi in that team. We definitely saw that idea. But for Real Madrid, I'm still cautioning that is not the Xabi Alonso ball. That is not the football Real Madrid should be playing under Xabi Alonso. And I'm not going to sit here and become that reactionary fan who after just one game I'm dismissing Xabi Alonso. No, definitely Real Madrid fans, you should not expect that Xabi Alonso to change your team to become one of the best team in tiki-taka or transition overnight. No, these things takes time, and if you want to play good football for the next 5 to 6 years, make sure you give Xabi Alonso the right players and for Xabi Alonso to implement his right idea. But one of the main things that made me watch this game today, it was because one, I'm a Manchester United fan, and these two guys who are playing tonight, they are guys who are pioneers of the 3 at the back system, which is what Manchester United will be using now forward, especially from the start of next season under Rúben Neves. That is actually the reason why I tuned in to watch that game, and I was quite surprised. These guys who are known notoriously for using back 3 system, Simone Inzaghi uses the back 3 system and he took him to the Champions League final, although he was smoked by PSG 5-0. And Xabi Alonso almost won a European treble with Bayern Leverkusen playing back 3, but they decided to use a back 4 in that game. And we all know the reason, man. Those guys saw it in their dressing room this week, because I don't think all of these guys, they've been training with these players for the past couple of weeks. If it is a long time, it is just 2 weeks, and they sit in those 2 weeks with their players and they look it like, nah, these players at this club, they are not suited to play back 3, so we'll use a back 4. There is no any other reason that these managers who are notoriously known for using a back 3, they use the back 4. It is because they look those players and they look the way they want to play in their system. No, we cannot use a back 3 with these players. Let's use a back 4, but the idea, the way I want them to press at the midfield, the way I want them to attack, the way I want them to, my full backs who in back 3, they're usually wing backs, to overlap. That is what I want them to do. But the moment I use a back 3, Xabi Alonso looked at it and he was like, no, I don't have a Jeremy Frimpong here. And then Simone Inzaghi looked at it and was like, no, I don't have a Denzel Dumfries, I don't have a Di Marco, I don't have an Augusto. Coming to the side of the game, Al-Hilal were a better side tonight. That I'm not gonna lie. Al-Hilal were a better side tonight. Were way better than Real Madrid. And I think they should have scored for at least for them to win this game, because for you winning games, you absolutely have to score. Just being good enough does not mean you'll win the game. But Al-Hilal, if you compare them, they were way comfortable on possession. They were more comfortable on doing what they were doing in that pitch. Al-Hilal were more confident in whatever they were doing. I think Simone Inzaghi, what he has done to this team in the past few days, it is what he was doing at Inter Milan. I know he was smoked 5-0 in the Champions League final against PSG, but if you are a good football fan, man, we can't just Simone Inzaghi's legacy with that one game. I know that one game, it looks pretty bad for his reputation as a manager and one of the best knockout managers in Europe for the past few years, because qualifying for 2 Champions League finals in the last 3 years, it shows that Simone Inzaghi was a very good manager in terms of knockout stage. That game tarnished his reputation, but it did not clear everything that Simone Inzaghi has done for football, especially when he was at Lazio and Inter Milan. No, it has not done that. And I think in that Champions League final, there was something wrong, man. There was something wrong with Simone Inzaghi. Even though if Inter Milan play PSG any day, any time, they'll get smoked. But getting smoked 5-0, that was another thing, man. So Al-Hilal being the better team, outclassing Real Madrid, which is one of the best teams in the world, and this got me thinking like, Cristiano Ronaldo said that the Saudi Pro League is more competitive than some of the leagues in Europe. And I'm not saying this to say that La Liga is not competitive or the Saudi Pro League is more competitive than the Saudi Pro League. No, I'm trying to say these are some of the teams from the Saudi, and this is how they're playing. I know their manager is a European top coach, Simone Inzaghi. I'm not going to take that away from it, but if these teams can gather the right players and play like this, the Saudi Pro League maybe can increase its quality and its reputation in terms of football. Because as we all know, for you to build a big team, you only need money, you need a good goal coach, and you need good players for the team to be good. But I think Al-Hilal had a good game. Al-Hilal had a brilliant game, and I was even surprised to see what was happening. The reason I watched even the game is because I saw I'm a Manchester United fan and I'm a football content creator. These guys are playing a back 3. Manchester United also plays a back 3, and these guys, especially Simone Inzaghi, is one of the guys who pioneered it. So I was like, let me look what a back 3 versus back 3, if they play, what will happen. And unfortunately they played a back 4. But back to the game, Real Madrid fan, take this from me. The success at Real Madrid under Xabi Alonso is not going to come overnight. Absolutely is going to need a lot of work from the players and Xabi Alonso. Even the board, that they will need a lot of work, man. Because these Real Madrid players, they walk into that pitch like they have won the Champions League. They walk into that pitch like they're the best team in the world. Even PSG, which is the best team in the world, the mentality that they goes on when they're getting into the pitch to play a game, it is usually brilliant and it is usually up. But for Real Madrid, the likes of Vinicius Jr., the way they're moving in that pitch, these guys is like they have won everything in their career, man. And I love Vinicius Jr. and I'm not trying to individualize this mistake or individualize this draw against Al-Hilal. No. These Real Madrid players have to get it up here mentality. I don't know what Fiorentina Perez will do. I don't know what Xabi Alonso will do. But I think these Madrid players, the mentality is the issue. They walk like it is still what, 2023 or 2022 when they won the Champions League. Bro, we are way past that, man. If you want to earn the reputation of becoming what, the biggest club in Europe, of course you are the biggest club in the world, but the best, there's the biggest and the best. The best current is is PSG, excuse me. If you want to earn that reputation and become the best club in Europe like PSG, man, you have to stick it up your mentality, get into the game and make sure you play every game and you take it seriously. The way we see these Real Madrid players get into the pitch, it is like they have won everything, they're the best players in the world. It is like they have this mentality that if you play for Real Madrid, everything will happen by itself. But that is usually not the case. And Xabi Alonso has to do something about it. Or Fiorentina Perez has to do something about it, because it is really costing this Real Madrid team. It is the way they are playing, man. Because if it is talent, these guys have the talents. They have Vinicius Jr., they have Kylian Mbappe, although Kylian Mbappe did not play. They have Rodrigo, they have Federico Valverde in that team. They have added Trent Alexander-Arnold. They have added one of the coolest defenders from the Premier League in Hüseyin. So you tell me that these guys continue losing these games and continue drawing to teams like Al-Hilal in the Saudi Pro League, man. That is not cool at all, man. And for Simone Inzaghi and Al-Hilal, thank you for the good job. Thank you for the good football match. Rúben Neves and all those Al-Hilal players, especially Bono was very brilliant in that game, saving Federico Valverde's penalty. It was good, and I will not try to stick to these Real Madrid players and start criticizing them, because if I start doing that, we will not finish today. And I don't want to criticize them because it is just the first game under Xabi Alonso. For Trent Alexander-Arnold, this is your first game, man. You will let it pass. The way you are cooked, I cannot even talk about it. But make sure in the next game, a good player usually looks at his mistakes and improves. Although Madrid, you have to do something. Yeah, maybe it is because of the many games they have been playing this season. Some players are from the Club World Cups. Then, they're from the UEFA Nations League. They've just finished the league. They were in the UEFA knockout stages. They were in the Cups. Then there's the league. Maybe it is the number of matches, or I don't know what is happening, man. But the quality of football games in this Club World Cup is not that good. The teams which I see them giving him all their efforts, I think it is the teams from maybe South America there, where the Brazilian teams like Palmeiras. Then you come to Africa, where that Casablanca and all those Al-Hilal, those teams are giving it all their efforts, man. I don't know why the European teams, they are treating this like some sort of friendly or what. PSG, it is the only team that I saw them putting like one of the strongest team they have. Ousmane Dembele did not play in that game, but that team that Luis Enrique staged for that game, it was strong. Even Diego Simeone, the team that he staged, it was strong. But I'm looking at the team that Real Madrid started today, and I'm like, even for Manchester City, I'm not very sure that these are the players that Pep Guardiola will use in the Premier League. But we live to see that. Maybe they're just waiting to get out of the group stages, because if you get out of the group stages, there's a lot of money to be made in this competition. So I think this club are just here to participate so that they can get the money. I don't think they're really in there because of the football. And you can't blame them, man. Who puts a cup in America? You know, football is not a popular sport in America. They have basketball, they have all that, and those games usually have water breaks, school breaks. A player can be substituted out, then he comes in, goes out, like that. But for football, does not work like that. That's why these players are suffering. I saw Phil Foden yesterday saying that they are playing under a lot of sun, which is really affecting them. They are not used to that in Europe, but that is that. They have to play the games. FIFA, UEFA, in collaboration with CAF and all those Continental Football Federation, they thought that it was good to bring this idea, and it was executed in America. Let's hope for good games, at least in the quarters, semis, and the final, man. Let's hope for good games. But for Xabi Alonso's Real Madrid fans, don't expect an overnight success. I'm out, guys. Peace.